Good afternoon. Thank you for
afternoon.
being here. I had the privilege of serving on the Aging Committee here for about 6 of 8 years and learned quite a bit over those years. And I think one of the things I'm concerned about is the PennCare waiting list. For those in the room that don't know what it does, it's the appropriation that provides funding for the 52 Area Agency on Aging's for their administration and to provide home and community-based social services, including home-delivered and congregate meals, home health, personal care, senior support, and protective services. But according to the department, there are approximately 3,800 seniors on the waiting list for these services. Is that actually an accurate number?
That's correct.
And is that across all 52, or is that more localized in certain areas in the state?
Well, it varies because the agencies have some discretion on how they set up the services that they provide. Some may provide a smaller mix of services so they can serve a broader population. Others may have more comprehensive services and as a result end up with a waiting list. So it varies.
So what would you estimate, I guess, across the Commonwealth then? What are the top 3 services that seniors are waiting for?
Well, in terms of all services, it's the 3,800. But again, what I would like to clarify is that even though that number is high, that doesn't mean that they're not receiving any services. Some may receive some of that 3,800. The 3,800 individuals may be receiving some services and waiting on others. In terms of in-home meals, we have 404, and caregiver support 14.
So one of my other concerns, I think, is I unfortunately am in a district where I had a senior pass away waiting for services a few years ago. And you know, they called the office, and we made calls. And so we talk about this silver tsunami that's coming upon us over the next decade. Mm-hmm. We had a report this morning from the IFO trending the numbers of people we have as seniors as opposed to the number of working class that can support the services. How are we preparing for, in light of the fact that we currently sort of have this long waiting list? We have had some deficiencies pointed out. How are we preparing to provide services for, from what data I've been given, is probably the most medically needy class of seniors to come yet? How do we prepare for that?
Well, we monitor and see if resources become available. We try to address the waiting list. Again, it's trying to balance the resources that we have in order to address that particular need. So it's something that we will continue to monitor and work with the agencies to see if we can address a reduction in
And is there something we as a legislative body can do to help you out with that? Or is there something we can do back in our districts to help out our local area agencies on aging?
Well, certainly resources are always welcome. I mean, that's the crux of trying to address the increase, like, as you said, with the elderly population projected to continue to increase, the demand for services increases as well. So we have to try to balance out the resources that we have, and additional resources are always welcomed to help the situation.
So there are some that believe that the funding that's coming from the lottery fund for the Medicaid is some of the problem, you know, the reason we have a waiting list. Is there any fact to that, or is there a basis for that belief?
I'm sorry, can you clarify your question?
So we had a policy committee last week, and the belief of some of the people there presenting was dollars going from the lottery fund to pay for Medicaid is some of the issue with the waiting list, that there would be enough money available for the people on the waiting list if we weren't paying those dollars over.
Need it closer, sorry. I'm aware of the concern. The dollars that are transferred over to the Department of Human Services are used to support the elderly. again, I think it's a matter of trying to balance the resources to meet the different needs that we have.
So I'm assuming this is a much larger conversation than the 5 minutes I have here. I just want to, I guess, express it is our job as a Commonwealth to make sure that our seniors are aging with dignity and grace. And any way we can help you support you to do that, we'd be happy to do that. But this is an issue I think that's critical in all of our districts.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.